You're watching PEGRI TV, Rhode Island's public access channel.
Oh, you didn't know? Yes, it is.
Welcome everybody to the Hot Tag.
Oh!
Brought to you by the Official Wrestling Museum. We are your hosts. I am Angel, and I'm joined by the Official Wrestling Museum's Hall of Famer.
Low life.
We are here, and we're here to answer your questions. Make sure you guys check out that QR code, scan it. I know that seems to be the thing right now. Now, it has nothing to do with the YS6, but we do have to do with something very special.
You can't say that. You don't know. They got to scan it to find out.
Oh,
could
did,
be.
Did
Could-
you do something?
I
Did
didn't.
you do something? Okay, well, you got to scan it. All right.
One thing they
folks.
will find out about, though, is about Professional Wrestling Day, National Professional Wrestling Day.
Yes, because we already have it locked in here in Rhode Island on June 13th each and every year. And with your help, we can make it go national. It takes 10 seconds, totally free to do. So if you guys can help us, we'll greatly appreciate that. Again, guys, thank you guys so much for sending in your questions, because your questions what goes in here that makes us pull out to read from here. And we have a half-hour show for you.
Yeah.
So you want to jump right in?
Yeah.
All right.
Give it a little shake. I never
Round
give
of
it the
applause.
shake.
Yeah, we just kind of just dive right in. We believe like they're
All right, let's see. See what we got here. Who will be the next Money in the Bank winners? All right, so
That's a good one.
I think
That's a good one.
I think for women, I'd like to say Tiffany Stratton would be a good Money in the Bank winner. As soon as they brought her up to the main roster, you know, she's already in the title picture somewhat, and you know, she's in the triple threat. She had the triple threat match.
Yep.
I think she would be. You know, I think about like who would be good with the bank, with the briefcase, as well
Yeah.
as who would be getting a push. And I think that, you know, of all the call-ups, I don't think it would fit well for Valkyria. I don't think it would fit well for Blair Davenport. Kiana James, but she just got called up. She would be good with the briefcase because it would fit her character. I'm going to go with Tiffany Stratton, and I'll let you pick a woman, and then I got to think about the men's for a
So
moment.
for women's, for me, I think Chelsea Green.
She'd be
I
great
think,
too.
you know what I mean? That would give the opportunity that she could jump back and forth to both shows if she really wanted
Yeah.
to, because
That's
she
another
can
thing you gotta
challenge
think of, too,
anybody.
yeah.
She has the gimmick, the personality to put over a briefcase.
Yeah.
And I think she can really deliver it. And teaming with Piper Nivens, she has a bodyguard.
Right,
Nobody
she's
can
the
touch
heavy.
you know what I mean?
No pun intended.
I think it's really
And she's that type too that could lose, and it wouldn't hurt her to lose with the
right.
briefcase.
Exactly.
For men, you know, LA Knight would be a good choice. I think I don't see him being a heavyweight champion, but having that briefcase would be nice for him.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's too soon for Braun Breaker, but LA Knight I think would be a good choice. Maybe like I think Gunther's going to be king of the ring, so he doesn't need it. Money in the Bank. I'm gonna say LA Knight. Yeah.
So, you know what? I can agree with LA Knight in the sense that it will look good with him. It will give him something to do, because I think, and we've talked about this off screen, that LA Knight kind of reached his
Yeah,
level.
I do-
You know
I
what I
do
mean?
think he
I don't
has.
think there's no more that he can go before he keeps hitting that ceiling. But originally, when you read the question, the first person that I thought of, Jey Uso.
He's one that I was going to say, you know, in fact, I was thinking of Jey Uso. I was also thinking about what if they just gave it like the Solo, the Bloodline helps him, and Solo holds on to it.
That
You
would
know,
be, that would be a good twist on things. That would be.
a couple names for you.
Yeah. Not bad if it's from Bella, too. That would be, you know what I mean?
That would, yeah, I think I mean, I don't think they need it for that breakup. I think that's inevitable. All right. What is?
I love when I pull these for you. Can you name 5 wrestlers and say their catchphrases in under 20 seconds?
Oh, yeah, sure. You want to go?
You go.
All right. LA Knight. Yeah. Let me talk to you. Cody Rhodes. When he comes out and he says, so what do you want to talk about? Stone Cold? Oh, give me a hell yeah. Jey Uso, yeet. The Rock, if you smell what The Rock is cooking. Hulk Hogan, what you gonna do, brother? Yokozuna, Banzai. Undertaker, rest in
All
peace.
right.
You want me to keep-
He's on it today, folks. He's ready to go. He's not sleeping on these.
I did a little more than 5, but it's all good.
Hey, it's all good. You got them still under 20
You know,
seconds.
catchphrases is very important in wrestling because, I mean,
They are.
I mean, like, look at the Dudley Boys, for example. They come back for the draft, and they come out, and all they got to do is come out and, Devon, get the tables. Oh, my brother, just you are your catchphrase.
Yep.
The Road Dogg, if he came out next week, would come out and do his catch.
It's very important.
Yeah. All right. Oh, it's a written one. Is Greg Valentine the son of Johnny Valentine? Yes, he is. And Greg Valentine, great wrestler, but they used to always say it takes him about 15 minutes to warm up. Greg Valentine with
Yeah.
the sausage fingers. But he was, he was a believable wrestler, obviously. He was good, but I could see where maybe like nowadays people would think he was boring.
He always reminded me of somebody like, I was surprised when I learned his age when I was younger.
I mean, the guy looked like he's like Arn Anderson. The guy looked like he was probably 43 when he was probably 23,
Yeah.
Very thick, like, now he's just, I mean, I've seen him doing backyard shows and stuff,
Yeah. It's
like legit in backyards.
That's not good. What do you think of the speed title?
So I actually was just talking about this last night. When the WWE came back with the Cruiserweight division, I think that concept, the speed concept, which for those that don't know, it's on, what is it, on Twitter? Twitter,
yeah.
X,
Or
whatever,
X.
whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I'm not big into social media stuff except I'm on
You
Facebook.
can follow the official Wrestling Museum though on that.
On Twitter?
On Twitter.
On Twitter? Okay.
Yeah. Tweet.
All right.
Oh, it's not tweet. I think it's just XX.
X now, right?
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, they do a show now. I don't know. I've never watched it, but I do know that the concept is the matches are only 3 minutes long, and basically, it's from what I could gather, it's a spot fest. It just matches where crazy. You don't have enough time to tell a story. It's just moves and could be entertaining. I think like if you did like I don't know how they format it. It's every Wednesday, I believe, and it's
Yeah.
like maybe if you did 3 matches. You're talking 15, with entrances, you're talking 15 minutes. I think it's a cool concept. I actually think when they redid the Cruiserweight division, something like that would have maybe been beneficial as opposed to just making it regular matches. Not maybe a 3-minute time, maybe a 5-minute time limit, but that style, a quicker
Well,
style.
I think the reason that it was 3 minutes is because you can only upload so much on
Okay.
Twitter.
Yeah.
So I think, or X. So I think that's the reason. The only downfall with this is social media, like X, because they started filming this back, I think, in December. So you have all these histories, and I remember we were texting each other last night, like, oh, Ricochet didn't have the belt. Well, that's because they're crowning the new champion coming out.
Oh, he hasn't.
Like they
it
haven't
hasn't
shown
on.
it yet.
It hasn't shown on social
Yeah,
media.
but it broke so
Okay.
much, so they had to release that he won it, and it's
Right.
like,
Okay.
you can't do a title and have so many months banked.
Yeah,
on
'cause they
it.
were putting it over last
And the
on-
title
yeah.
itself, it's a ripoff of a TNA title.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It really is.
I've seen a picture of it. I think. So I was wondering why Ricochet. They said, oh yeah, he's the Speed champion, and they even said it I think on Raw, but he didn't have the title. And it's like, well, if you want to promote the show, why not?
Why not have
put
it?
the title on him? I do like the concept. I think like it's great for younger kids in the sense of, hey, you got 15 minutes to kill. Put this on. I think it's going to be a hit getter or whatever. So, all right.
You remember playing the card game Speed?
No,
No, you never played that?
I don't even.
It's a fun game. You got to be quick. That's why Speed.
Thoughts on R-Truth.
Oh man,
Well, I think that
what's up?
he has his hits and misses with his comedy.
What?
Yeah, I mean, there's hits and
What?
misses. There's hits and misses. Sometimes it doesn't hit as
Man,
well.
I gave you props a few questions ago.
No, when he was doing the Judgment Day stuff,
Yeah.
he took over. He became the most popular in that group. I feel like once they won the belts, it was kind of like a drop off. Now he does have some funny stuff. Like he did have the, hey, we'll give you guys one title shot for two later, like a now and later. Like he's still gonna have his moments, but I do think that he's only good for those little moments. You can't have him be a focal point or something. He's a bit player, and that's nothing wrong with that. Like that's his role.
I don't know, man.
I like when he comes out and he says John Cena was my childhood hero, and he's funny, and he's definitely. I mean, what is he like 54 or something?
Yeah,
does not
something like that.
age wise. I mean, body wise, the guy does not look it, and
Nope.
he's good at what he does. I'm not saying anything negative. He's not going to be your top guy. He's a role player.
Unfortunately, at this point, because
60-time
he's so
champion, right?
60-time champ, you can't go wrong with that. If he can make you believe an invisible kid is there, and he can get everybody behind him, R-Truth, I think, is definitely a Hall of Famer. This is probably be unpopular by at least this table and probably some out there. He could be the headliner for a Hall of Famer, for a Hall of Fame, because I think what he does and what he delivers in a time frame where it wasn't done, and he's delivering and getting it over, that speaks volume. He's extremely athletic. He can work a mic, and I know you said he's a hit or miss sometimes on what he says with his jokes, but it's what is fed too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I like
it's just
him.
like if you're baking cookies.
I like him, but I like
and your
him.
flour is outdated.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I
of
like
course you're
him.
gonna miss
I
on
like him, but I like him in small doses.
All right. Well, how many doses do you want of R-Truth a day? Anything they shove down your throat, like Judgment Day when they're on the screen 15 times a day.
Well,
A
that-
show, it's
you know.
like what the heck?
I like for example, what they do now. He might not even wrestle. He comes out, gets his little segment in. Doesn't have to be a 15-minute segment. Get 2 or 3 minutes in, his jokes in, and that's that. It's fine. I think his role is perfectly suited for him at the moment.
We're gonna have some discussions.
Well, I didn't say I don't like him. I like him, and he can still work.
Yeah, I know we can still work.
All right, go
For
ahead.
R-Truth. Who was the best referee ever in WWE?
Ugh, the best referee ever. You know what? It's just like
This is tough. This one really is tough.
I don't care. The Hebners. I mean, when you think about
I don't know. The Hebners.
when you think
both of
about
them.
referees, you got to think about the Hebners. I mean, I'm not even going to go by the cadence and count and all that. Blah blah blah. You know what? Dangerous Danny Davis.
So Earl Hebner, I think. So I think this is. I don't think you could just put one in. Earl Hebner, I think, was phenomenal.
Listen,
Okay.
the twin angle with Hogan and Andre, that makes him the best ever because that was such a memorable angle.
That definitely was. Charles Robinson is unbelievable
good.
as a ref. John Crone, come on, now he's an agent.
Joey Morella was good.
Okay. And you
Very
can't
believable.
you can't forget Tim White.
Yeah.
Like, Tim
I
White
think-
he was good, and he even offed himself on TV.
I didn't like that whole suicide angle.
That
stuff.
was stupid. It really was. But you're not gonna find a more dedicated opponent, employee.
They have had some good refs. They have some good
Yeah.
ones now. Jessica Carr is good.
Yeah.
A lot of people talk about like Aubrey Edwards being a great female ref. I think WWF has 2 better refs with Jessica Carr and
Yeah,
I
because
don't
they
know
don't seem
the
to
other
try
chicks.
to grab the attention.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely. Jessica Carr, I think is really.
The only
good.
thing with Jessica Carr that I noticed at Backlash, she doesn't, when something is off script and they're trying to get back in, she doesn't know how to get them back on. It could have also been to the language barrier and some issues there.
barrier.
Yeah, that's the word. That could have been the issue. But yeah, there was some,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, Charles Robinson is obviously good.
Yeah.
Nick-
Little Nate.
I know Nick Patrick is more remember for WCW, but he was
Oh
good.
yeah, Nick Patrick. What about
John Cone.
no, not him.
Mike Chioda.
No, not him.
I still go with
Oh man, I just had his name from WCW. He used to sell everything. He's passed away now.
Mark Curtis.
Yes.
Well, if you
he
go,
was
yeah. Well, this
Man,
is
he's so
WWE, so
believable.
I didn't. Yeah, Mark Curtis.
Right.
Mark Curtis was probably my favorite ref of all time.
I think Mark Curtis really helped WCW get on the map because he made everything
You also
so
had Randy.
believable.
WCW had really good refs. They had Randy Anderson,
Yeah.
Nick Patrick, Mark Curtis, and then they had Scott Dickinson, who was like, okay, this is the
Yeah, he
square
worked
peg
a
in
couple of
round
shows
hole.
with
Yeah,
us
he
and
did.
stuff.
He did.
Yep, he
but he
did.
was like that square peg in a round hole.
Yeah.
But
Very
there's
quiet,
some good
mute.
refs over the years. Joey Morella is one that always used to come to mind as like the like in the back in the day, Joey Morella, Danny Davis. Now remember, Danny Davis got expelled as a referee, suspended for life, but yet came back. You know,
True.
they never really put him in a storyline again, but he did referee again. And I don't know the ref's name, but I know this was back in the day around WrestleMania 4-ish time. They had this one ref that always looked like he was an angry drunk. And I don't know what his name was. He was, and it was yell. I don't know his name.
I don't remember his name too, but yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
All right. Well, I pulled out about 6 questions.
Right. You want like a boom, 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 boom.
It's who was the best timekeeper of all time, though?
Right.
What was the name of Coco Beware's bird? Well, that would be Frankie.
Bird, bird, bird.
Yeah.
I love that song.
No, Pile Driver is still the one. But yeah, you had Frankie. Unfortunately, Frankie did pass. Frankie did pass in a house fire.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, and he actually lost like all his gear and everything in that fire. Well, I know the bird's more than the gear, but still.
Back in the day, you know, you had matches where like Coco Beware and the Bulldogs would be in a 6-man tag, and they'd have the Bulldog, they'd have Matilda and Frankie at ringside.
Yeah.
You know, Frankie.
You always wanted to see if they were gonna attack each other.
It did make them stand out.
Would WWE benefit by adding a TV title?
I think that there's too many titles, so no. Because
Yeah.
I had always toyed around in my head with the idea of a network title,
Yeah.
a network champion that would be defended. They do film Raw, and the dark match would be the network champion
Yep.
match. And it could be anyone. It could be someone from SmackDown. It doesn't matter who. But it would only be shown on the network. So like when you go to the network and you go to click on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, whatever they call that, the hub thing or whatever, I don't know. They'd have one for the network title, and every week there'd be a new one. And the guy could wear it to the ring during Raw or something, like if he was in another match, but
Yep.
it would never be defended, only in dark matches, but those dark matches would be shown on the network. Kind of
Yeah.
like what the Speed title is, in a sense.
Right. Yeah, I kind of think I always wanted a TV title.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Maybe
I
if they make a
think-
women's TV title
That would
instead
be-
of
yeah.
because I know like they're just now going to be doing the women's North American for NXT.
Yeah.
Which I
That just-
feel
it's
like
a
might be
test run.
A test.
Yeah.
I don't like. Okay, if we're going to do all women, make new women's titles, let's make them exactly the same as men. You
Right.
got the women, you got the Intercontinental in the U.S. Okay, well if you're going to make a women's mid-card title, make a TV title.
And
out.
the thing that I don't like too is they're testing it out on NXT. You know what I mean?
It's a good.
It's sometimes it is because, well, let's face it. A lot of the times when these talents come up, it's a whole different atmosphere.
Oh, it is. Most
You
of
know
them
what I mean?
change.
You're looking at what are they holding that arena? Maybe 1,000 people at the most, give or take, if they're lucky. So now you come up, you're in a arena with, just say SmackDown, that had the 11,000 people, the biggest gate ever, which makes no sense. But anywho,
in an arena.
in
Biggest
an arena.
Live attendance arena.
Yeah,
gate.
which that crowd over in France was unbelievable.
Yeah,
That's
I
how
love when
fans
they
should
do
always
overseas
be.
shows. They're always
But
fun.
Have the title become on Raw or SmackDown. Don't have it be to brought up and keep bringing it up and bringing it up, bringing it up. Just have it out there because that's where you need to know if it's going to get over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is hard,
I think TV
yeah.
title would have been good at some point. Like you said, for females, that might be actually fantastic. But right now, there's too many belts and there's no purpose of it.
Right. That's just a belt for the sake of a belt.
Yeah.
We're gonna sell the replica of it. We're gonna put
Yeah.
it with the toys.
There's too many replica belts.
I think that there's way too many belts in wrestling. That was one of my that was in one of my corners during our
Yeah. And when are they gonna come out?
the Four Corners episode.
Yep. They already have football, baseball. They got to come
Well,
out
those
with a
don't count.
basketball
I do
line,
like how they
a
incorporate
hockey
that to
line.
sell 'em.
Right.
Yeah.
Then what's going to be next? Chip line, cookie line.
Maybe NASCAR.
Oh yeah, NASCAR line.
Is you're up next, I think, right?
No, I think I
me?
read that. Yeah, you are.
The belts are a moneymaker. I think
They are.
that the belts are a moneymaker.
They really are.
But when you have 14 guys with belts, and don't forget you get the added thing like King of the Ring, Money in
Yeah.
the Bank. Who was the best manager of all time?
Oh man.
So I think, this would be a great, this would be a great concept for
Four Corners.
the Four Corners. But
Yeah.
so this will be actually giving you the hint, the preview of that. Bobby Heenan, I think, was the best of all time. I think many people will
Yeah.
say that. Paul Heyman's up there on the list too.
Yep.
But I'm not going to sit here and go over the list because I'd rather
Yeah.
do that for Four Corners.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to
That's
simplify
definitely
it.
what we have to do for Four Corners.
I'm just going to simplify it and say Bobby Heenan, which
Bobby.
we obviously know he's going in one of the corners.
Right in the corner. Yeah, Bobby Heenan was just, his brain, no pun intended, was a mastermind when it came to
Yep.
getting any talent, any storyline over. If you ever doubt his mastermind, just look at not only who he had in the Heenan family, but look at what he did at the 92 Rumble for Ric Flair.
Oh,
if
and
it
that-
wasn't
yeah.
for him, Flair's whole return to debut with WWF
Yeah.
and that whole thing would have meant nothing.
And that was more.
Would have meant nothing.
That was all the commentary, but he was commentating as Ric Flair's. Well, he didn't say manager. He said he used a different thing.
What did
but,
he use? I
but-
know what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for him,
Right.
getting him over, that would never.
Right.
It would have been like, oh,
I mean,
wow,
you could
Flair
make the
won,
argument.
what?
You could make the argument of WrestleMania 3. Would Andre's heel turn have been as successful if, remember, Hogan came out to the Piper's Pit that one episode, and okay, we're gonna bring out Andre the Giant, and he came out with Bobby Heenan, and Jerry
Yep.
Ventura was like, Andre the Giant, and he
Yep.
like when you saw him with Bobby Heenan, you instantly knew he's a heel now, and he's a bad guy,
Yep.
and would that heel turn have worked as well without Bobby Heenan? I don't think it would have.
No, Bobby Heenan was definitely. He was a big loss for the professional.
Another
wrestling.
guy who had to I know he had a few champions later on, but he didn't need to have champions to manage. Like he
Yeah.
was going to get them over.
He had guys like Brooklyn Brawler.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At WrestleMania. So.
And for a manager that could wrestle, he would say, I think he said, you manage like a wrestler and you wrestle like a manager. He just such a smart guy.
He was. All right. When will Roman Reigns return?
I think is he filming movies in the real world? I think he's filming some
So
movies.
supposedly he had some movies going. I don't know if any of them actually started filming or not.
I think he'll be back. So I think you got to give time for the new bloodline to
Yeah.
establish itself, and I think he'll be back by War Games at least.
Yeah.
Because I think War Games will be bloodline.
The talk of SummerSlam and to do everything by then, I think it's just way too soon.
I think that's too soon.
And if there is the health issues still really going, this will give them enough time to really recoup, relax.
War Games is good because I think you can do blood. They still have people to bring out for the new bloodline.
Yeah.
There's still another guy. They got to get the Usos back together.
Uso.
I would say maybe by War Games.
Yeah. If not, next year sometime.
I think to keep him off. I know that he only works sparingly anyway, but it's good that he's been off. He's been getting face pops.
Yeah.
Crowds chanting for him.
Yep.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Absolutely.
All right. What classic superstar figure would you have liked to have seen made? Oh, man, that's a good one because I collected the classic line. Wow. To think of who they didn't, because they made so many. Man.
For me, you know who I would like to see? Nails.
Yeah, they didn't make a Nails.
Yeah.
I think, did they make a Mattel classic Nails?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Yeah, and I don't think that they ever will, based on the issues with
Yeah, I
Vince
think
McMahon.
Nails would have been. Well, now the door might be open, but Nails would have been a cool one to get for
Man,
sure.
that's so hard because they've done so many.
Yeah.
Maybe, I could say Mass Superstar because I know they did Demolition Axe, but they never did a Mass Superstar. I'm just so I have a name out there, Mass Superstar. We don't have that much time left, so maybe I'll think about it for a minute here.
Yeah, that's
Mass
not a bad.
Superstar. Yeah, pull out one.
I'll do another question. You think of that because we can always go around. All right. Should either WWE or AEW bring back Saturday morning wrestling? I say absolutely. I think the biggest thing WWE is failing on is not having a Saturday morning TV show. And I've said it for the longest time, NXT should move to Saturday mornings, especially with all the cartoon colors that they have for their logos. I think it'll be eye-pleasing for the kids. It's a small enough show, so when you put it on for kids to watch, they're going to feel like they're more part of the show than a big arena show, and it's going to get over better, and they can test the waters.
All right, to answer real quick.
Yes.
I don't think they made a classic Adrian Adonis. I don't know about Mattel, because I don't buy Mattels. I don't think they made a classic Jax Adrian Adonis. Billy Jack Haynes also. I just throwing some names out there. Let me get to the Saturday morning one, what you were just talking about. I agree. Growing up, Saturday morning, it was wrestling morning. It was cartoons, wrestling, and then it was bowling after that or something. I really liked maybe about 8 to 10 years ago when they did the Saturday morning Slam show.
Yeah.
Geared towards kids. It was a half-hour show. So again, you're talking time frame. Kids might not sit there for an hour, 2 hours. You do that half-hour show, you're going to get 2 matches, maybe a third match, plus a little bit of storyline. They changed up. Wasn't Daniel Bryan like a bear or something?
Yes.
Yeah, so, I mean, and that's fine because you're gearing it towards kids. It's not in the same universe
And that's
of
the
Raw.
thing. Remember, if you put NXT on Saturday mornings and you're marketing to kids, guess what happens? You sell at least 2 tickets to your shows. So if you're testing the waters
Figures
and wanted
get
to
sold
see,
more.
if you wanted to see what's going on more, it's a great thing because a lot of their guys are just normal, every Joe Smo, nothing special really about them. You know what I mean? So if you can flip them into something that the kids are like, oh my God, mommy, daddy, you know what I mean? I think it will go over better. Thank you guys very much for sending all your questions in and keep sending them in because each and every week, that's the only way we can do this show is with your questions. Make sure you guys check out that QR code. It's very important. Only takes about 10 seconds to do. It's totally free to do. Make sure you guys check out Off the Ropes this week. We're going to be talking about wrestling movies.
We're going to start a new series.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun with that.
Yeah.
We got the 4 corners going this week. Then we're going to talk about the best gimmicks in professional wrestling. Our thoughts, who's the best. We'll also talk about Free Preview Part 2 of Suit airing. There's only a couple more weeks on that, so make sure you check that out as well. And Figures Are Us, we'll talk about those WCW guys, right?
The loops.
You know it. So thank you guys very much for tuning in. Make sure you guys take that Smile Up Challenge. Spread more smiles than hate in the world. And you know what they say, you write the questions.
We got the answers.
See you next week, guys.